Hi, welcome to Forex in 4. I'm Mike Conlon for FXEDU, and in the next 4 minutes, I'm going to show you the highlights of where the action is in today's Forex market. So let's get started.
Good morning. Today is Thursday, November 18th, 2010. This morning I'm asking, are Irish eyes smiling? At least that's the hope that the market's thinking, as it's optimistic that the problems in Ireland's banking system is going to be resolved. All right, it was no secret that the Irish banks were in trouble, but the Irish's decision to try and attempt to resolve their problems themselves was met with opposition from other members of the EU, and then of course the markets in general. All right, now the major problem was that the government may not have enough funds to bail out their banks if and when they need it. Now, it's widely assumed that it's a question of when and not if. All right, so the ECB was saying, well, hey, listen, you have to come in and take this money for the banks, just so that we don't have a problem in the future. Well, that's a little bit different than what we had originally thought, that the problem was with Ireland, that the government needed this money. Well, if they'd had to bail out the banks, yes, they would need money, but right now they are currently funded. So this is starting to work out like it's going to be a little bit different than the Greek bailout that occurred earlier in the year, and that's an important distinction, because the Ireland's opposition to this was that they wanted to maintain their sovereignty, okay, and not have rules dictated to them what they can do. So what this is going to looks like it's going to add up to is a TARP-like loan. It's kind of like what we did here in the U.S. With a more favorable rate than what they can currently get in the private market, because once the cat was let out of the bag here, the market sort of smelled blood. They started driving yields higher, and at that point it became more unsustainable for Ireland to, the banks to service that debt. So that's what it looks like is going to happen. Now, of course, this hasn't happened yet. There's been no agreed upon or formal, request for this money, but it looks like it may be a foregone conclusion. Now, Ireland's actually going to have to take the money on behalf of their banks, but there's some nuances there that make it different from the Greek bailout. So in any event, the market loves this today. All right, we've got risk taking going on. It's a classic risk taking day. You can see across the board, Aussie's highest, all right, followed by Kiwi, followed by Euro, followed by Pound, Loonies in there, Dollar, and then Yen. And you can just look here. We can see on the Euro, just looking at a 15-minute chart, I identified yesterday that point at what was it, 13,343, I think, was the Fibonacci retracement level there. And it looks like that level held up nicely. That was 50% of the move higher. That held. All right, we also have the pound is higher as well, back up above 160. All right, we showed that 158.50 level yesterday. That also held. Now, in the UK, they had retail sales figures that came in better than expected at 0.3%. They were expecting 0.2%. Last month, they actually had a decline of 0.3%. So, this is a good thing going on over in the UK. But it must be noted that the VAT tax is going up in January, so maybe that's a function of what's going on here. All right, I'm just going to show you the loonie real quick. Loonie is a little bit stronger versus the dollar. Let's look at it on the old 5-minute here and see what's happening. Okay, we can see now that we're trading in a little bit of a range, still above that 101 level. All right, oil prices have rebounded a little bit as stocks and commodities are higher around the globe. All right, we also have the Canadian leading indicators. They came in for October. They were higher, gaining 0.2% versus an expectation of 0.1%. All right, and also higher than last month's decline of 0.2%. So that's a good thing over there. Lastly, we just have yen weakness. You can see that across the board. Carry trades full effect. Got Aussie yen higher. Okay, and pound yen moving is higher as well as New Zealand. Now in New Zealand, they had PPI figures that came in just a little bit higher than expected. I'll show you that. You can see the move higher overnight. All right, this may bring inflation back into the picture here. It may cause the RBNZ to have to act sooner than later, but at this point, it just looks like today's a classic risk-taking day with risk appetite going on across the board. So, getting back to this whole Irish thing, I mentioned over the past week or so that I still think that this whole thing was sort of concocted by Germany to get some euro relief after QE2 here in the U.S. All right, they highlighted a problem that was by and large already known about. Okay, but by insisting that that Ireland have to take a bailout, all right, that really upset the market, that pulled the euro back, and it gave them some relief from the dollar weakness that we've been seeing thanks to QE2. So now the cat's out of the bag. Ireland may as well take the money. It's sort of like the TARP money here in the U.S. I mean, everybody complained about the TARP money, but by and large, it's mostly been paid back, all right, with interest. So same thing's going to happen in Ireland. It just gives them the banks a little bit more relief, a little bit more room to operate, and then the government doesn't have to use its own funding to pick up the slack. So, again, it was probably more much ado about anything, or nothing, rather. All right, but now I wonder, what this means for Portugal and Spain, okay? What happens the next time the euro starts to approach 145 versus USD? I mean, all of a sudden now, is it a Portuguese problem? And then if it starts to go higher, is it a Spanish problem? So, we got to keep an eye on what's going on over in the euro, how they're trying to, maintain a lower euro through any means possible. All right, this is event risk that's happening out there, and I think if the market really catches on to what's happening here, this could be a problem going forward. So anyway, that's what we're seeing today. Classic risk taking. Just keep an eye out for the event risk. We're not going to see anything in the future. Oh, real quick, just wanted to mention GM, General Motors. They are having their IPO today, largest IPO ever. They've got these new green cars coming out that they're hoping is going to be all the rage. We're going to have to see what happens with that. If you ask me, I'd rather see some more numbers out there before I go ahead and jump on that boat. But as a speculative play, maybe worth it. So congrats to GM from going public, and good trading to all.
As always, be sure to check out the written blog at www.fxedu.com to get complete coverage of today's Forex market. If you would like to learn more about how to trade the Forex market from professionals like myself, be sure to check out our affordable Forex trading courses. And if you're already a seasoned professional or aspire to be one, ask us how we can help you achieve your Forex goals. Go to www.fxedu.com to get started today.